Welcome to another one of my fantasy picks, although I have bad news. Last week I won, which was good news. Moving up to 9-4, my 5th straight victory. But unfortunately, because Tyler Jacobs won, and it probably would not have mattered either way, because he would have won the tiebreaker. The sad news is, for the rest of this season, my fantasy picks have been canceled. I apologize to all the fans that are looking forward to the rest of this year's fantasy picks. They have been canceled because I did not make the playoffs. But there's still a bunch more things to do. Tons of sports coming up in the future, and tons of stuff that's going to come up. Like next Friday, I will be making my bowl selection show with special guests. I'm going to say at least one special guest will be Cody Bromberg. We're not sure about other guests, but I am assured that there will be a bowl selection show before the first bowl, and I am very excited for that show. I just wanted to say to all the fans, thank you for watching my fantasy picks for the year 2011. I will be back with playoff picks, and I may preview some fantasy picks there, because I will have an NFL.com fantasy. And before the playoffs, I'd like to say that my strategy for that is I pick one player from every team that's playing. Because you are assured, next week he's going to get double points. Next week, half of your team is going to get double points. Some even 3 times, some 4 times. Last year I had Greg Jennings 4 times. Or 4 times the amount of points. For the Super Bowl. But anyway, that was basically what I have to say, is that my fantasy picks are over for this year. Hope to see you again soon, but anyway, besides that, may as well talk some more sports. Let's talk the Miami Marlins. Their logo looks like a 4-year-old did it. Looks like Mickey Mouse made that logo. Yeah, that looks that horrible. Next week I will show the logo on the right at the beginning of the bowl selection show. I will show that Marlins logo to all the fans who are unaware. It looks terrible. I mean, just terrible. It's the most terrible thing I've ever seen of a logo. I mean, it's just terrible. Just terrible. Speaking of terrible, the NBA is out of its lockout. Isn't that just terrible? We're going to have a 66-game season this year. I know, the Pistons are going to have 9 games straight in 10 days. I'm not sure about that, but 9 road games in 10 days. It's just terrible. I mean, just terrible. I don't know what that phone call was about, but I don't know. It was just terrible. I mean, just terrible. We shouldn't have had a season this year, because NBA is probably one of the least followed sports that I make. That was a message from my mom. She was attending Delta College and SVSU to get more credits for her job she was trying to apply to as a substitute teacher. I know, it's just terrible, isn't it? Just terrible. Anyway, NBA having a 66-game season. Rubio's supposed to start for the T-Wolves. I mean, it's just terrible. It's just terrible. My preseason picks, terrible. Maybe the Lakers might do it again, or even the Hornets trading CP3 for somebody else. Who knows? It's just going to be terrible. Just terrible. We'll see you soon. I mean, it's just terrible, 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 terrible. Terrible.